Well, good morning. November the 9th. Some parts of the island are under forecast for snow today. That will be interesting. Don't have my winter tires on yet. Might have to borrow my wife's SUV. Simple, right? As always, I'm going to have some links in the description of this particular video. And some people wonder why I put so many links on it. I don't just tell people, give people calls nuts. Well, I think one person just going on and on, it's good to have a cross-section of people, different opinions. And as you check with what other people are saying, it might lead to some more due diligence on one's part, and one makes up their own mind, sort of thing. Of course, my mind, I see Trudeau is sending his congratulations to Biden. It's interesting. I think Trudeau's probably wetting his pants. He's all excited. He's finally met an intellectual equal. No, with Trump he had difficulty getting by. Trump wasn't interested in the color of his socks. He was interested in more sustenance. And with Joe Biden, hey, Trudeau might even win the odd conversation. Who knows? Anyway, we'll leave that to Trudeau to sort of sit in his illusion for a while. I see Tedros as well. He has kicked off his congratulations and looking forward to working with the masked bandit. So masked bandit Biden. That's going to be interesting. Should Biden win, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to put a clip on, and I haven't been able to check with anybody from the Philippines yet to confirm this, but maybe you can. See what's happening in the Philippines as far as travel and regulations go with this Wuhan waltz thing that's dancing around the world. You only can imagine what, should Biden win, what Tedros and Biden, under the auspices of science, will have everybody sort of doing. It doesn't take much scientific knowledge to watch Biden, how he wears his mask, to know whether it's working or not. Watch for yourself. Another quick clip just to break away from that. We're talking about Biden, this comes to mind. There's a neat clip of CNN, and as I switch to their map of the election coverage, PornHub is up in the top right-hand corner, and the twit who was giving us the CNN spiel quickly sort of erases it, or moves it off. It's interesting. The what would you call the morality pulse of the U.S. is CNN and Biden, and PornHub slips up on their website. You gotta love it. Is that an accident? Who knows? Do you mean only your imagination? I'm just gonna leave it there. You can figure out what our moral compasses in the States do. Biden, Hunter Biden, and CNN and PornHub. Epstein. The computer that disappeared, the hard drive that disappeared, remember? Way back in Hillary's day? The child porn guy? Oh, well, it's all intriguing. But Tedros is all excited about Biden coming on board. And Tedros has a great background. He's just got to go back to where he came from, how he got into his position. And imagine China is really excited about that. And of course, the WHO, they're going to be excited. They're going to get their coins coming back from the States. Biden will probably give them a raise, because Biden believes in science. Talking about science, I see in Canada, Dr. Tran, our famous Dr. Tran, who heads up, the main health officer for Canada. She sort of is the Wuhan waltz director here, and a lot of provincial counterparts follow her dictates. Now she's gone back and forth on masks so many times that her head's still spinning. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, this works, that doesn't work, why, how to wear a mask, you can't touch this, do that. I mean, this lady just can't get it together. But now she's come up with a new theory. I'll put a link in this. I'm not making this up. She has decided that the cloth masks on themselves won't work now. So what you have to do is put a filter in between. And she's suggesting the baby wipes. Take a baby wipe and dry it out and then stick it in your mask. Or a paper towel. Now, is this the kind of science that Joe Biden's talking about? Is this the kind of science they're talking about? All you have to do is look up the size of a virus. Look up the size of the Wuhan waltz virus, the size of it. And it doesn't take much science to realize that a paper towel is not protecting too much. Now, there are filters that do work. It's interesting. Way back in January, February, we came up with a mask. My wife's a seamstress, and at that time we didn't know how serious this was. And having a manager from Nanjing, she gave us some insight from that countryside, and so we did, after some major research, looking at some Cambridge studies and some other studies with filtering possibilities. There were two materials that they suggested were decent, and we knew we needed a filter in between, even back then. It's taken Tran 11 months, the World Health Organization, to get their ass to get their thumbs out of their ass and figure something out. And so got a hold of a nurse in Seattle, and she was making masks for medical people and had a filter idea that really does work. And you notice we sort of suggested way back then one should maybe, we didn't know what the hell this was, be really cautionary. By March, April, we started to figure it out, and well, just take your vitamin D3, your vitamin C, make sure your nutrition levels are up, your immune system is solid, make sure start exercising, get yourself in good shape. Because there are hints that they're coming through with another one. It's going to be more deadly. That's going to take people out. Now, is that a conspiracy theory? Who knows? Is it a conspiracy? Well, this whole thing has been a conspiracy. This whole thing has been a conspiracy. I read an article from the Tyee giving Biden so much credit for winning this election, he's not getting any kudos. Not once mentioning all the shenanigans that are going on. Same with the Washington Post, an article from there. It says, well, what comes around goes around. The Republicans cheated with Russia last time. See, they're still going on this stupid idea of Russia being in Trump's pocket, or Trump being in Russia's pocket. I think that they spent millions of dollars to disprove that, but nobody paid attention then, and if they did, they forgot it very quickly. If they haven't forgotten, well, they're going to bullshit and lie about it again. Why not? And I don't know if you have checked any of the links that we have put in over the last few days on the whole computer scenario, computer election fraud. Servers in Germany, the cloud owned by a company out of Spain. They don't know who owns the company because it's in bankruptcy. The shenanigans that have gone on in this election are pretty much just totally unbelievable. And I suppose the big test is going to be if the courts just smooth it over. Well, I don't think anybody can how can anybody have any faith in anything anymore? If your judicial system will allow that sort of thing, or just call it an error, you can't redo it, it's been done, they cheated, so what? Mathematicians who are saying to get, in the middle of the night, 139,399 vote change between one candidate and the other, and all of the votes for the one candidate is mathematically impossibility. Mind you, Trudeau and Biden sitting down could probably come up with a formula that would say, hey, no, this works. Here's the formula. It's interesting. Two major intellectual minds may be in charge of North America. Well, just imagine what's happening. And of course, Marquez, she's got, they're starting a list. Just think of this. They're starting a list. Not a Schindler's List to help people, it's a list to sort of destroy people. Think about that. It's a Stalin list. It's a Mao list. It's a Pol Pot list. These guys are crazy. And I know some people say, hey, no, it's no big problem. We'll get through all this. Well, much like the rioters were chanting in Washington, they got a new line now. F Trump, F Biden, no, F presidents, no presidents, burn it down. I don't know. I think it's sort of just like a stew pot boiling over right now. It just does not look right, smell right. And of course, now the judicial system has to come and do their job. And hints are that, if talking about elections, Germany may postpone their elections. Civic elections in Saskatoon might be cancelled for today because they had the biggest snowstorm since 2011 or 2007. Can't remember the exact date. And if you've ever been in a blizzard in the prairies, well, you ain't going out to vote and that sort of stuff. Especially if you've got to drive more than 2 feet. They get pretty brutal. But anyway, we'll add some links in the bottom. We're still in crazy times. Of course, the IMF, the World Economic Forum, WHO, with Tedros at the helm, the globalists are just rubbing their hands together because at the prospect of Biden and Harris joining them. And yep, it's sort of scary. It's sort of scary. But it's going to be funny at the same time. You've got to find humor in everything, but there's tragedy and there's humor. Just got a picture, Trudeau and Biden putting their heads together and coming up with a master plan. Sort of interesting. Sort of interesting. Bye for now. Take care.